Your honesty is not a shield, it is a target. You believe being real makes you noble, but in this room, it only makes you a leak. Every time you react, you hand over the keys to your nervous system. You aren't expressing yourself, you are bleeding out in front of a predator. You are currently sleepwalking through a hierarchy you don't even see, handing over your leverage for free. Pay attention, this is the only warning you'll get. A manipulator is a parasite that feeds on one specific resource: your reaction. They don't care if you're angry, crying, or defensive, as long as you are feeling something they dictated. This is the subtext of every provocation. When they insult your intelligence or question your loyalty, they aren't seeking truth. They are checking to see if the leash still works. Think of their manipulation as a fire. For a fire to breathe, it needs oxygen. In the social hierarchy, your emotional response is that oxygen. Look at the optics of the situation. When someone tries to trigger you, they are essentially throwing a hook into the water. If you bite, if you raise your voice, if you explain yourself, if you try to prove them wrong, you have been caught. You have validated their status as the aggressor and yours as the respondent. You are now playing on their board using their dice. But what happens when the hook hits the water and finds nothing but a void? This is where the power shifts. By maintaining a state of absolute, icy stillness, you create a vacuum. The manipulator expects a payoff for their effort. When that payoff, your distress, never arrives, they experience a psychological short circuit. They begin to panic. They try harder. They become more obvious. And eventually, they start to look desperate. You haven't said a word, yet you've already begun to dominate the interaction. You aren't just surviving the attack. You are starving the attacker. You are becoming the architect of the silence, and in that silence, their influence withers. They need you to care. Deny them that, and you deny them existence. Your face is usually a map of your vulnerabilities. A raised eyebrow, a tightened jaw, a quick blink. To a master of optics, these aren't just expressions, they are data points. They are the leaks that tell your opponent exactly where the blade will hurt the most. Most people try to hide their fear by faking confidence. They smile too much, they nod too fast. This is a fatal mistake. Faking an emotion is just another form of reacting. It is a performance, and every performance can be seen through. If you are performing, you are still seeking their approval of your strength. If you want to terrify a manipulator, you don't wear a mask of strength. You wear nothing at all. You become the Obsidian Mirror. The Obsidian Mirror is the blank face tactic. It is the art of total facial neutrality. When someone attacks you, they are looking for a reflection of their own power in your eyes. They want to see the ripple they caused in your pond. They need to know they have changed your internal state. By giving them a blank, dead stare, you deny them that reflection. This creates a psychological phenomenon known as the void anxiety. Humans are hardwired to read social cues to ensure their survival. When a human mind encounters a total lack of feedback, it doesn't find peace, it finds terror. It begins to hallucinate threats. In the absence of your reaction, the manipulator is forced to look at themselves. Their own words start to echo in the silence of the room. Their insults start to sound small. Their tactics start to look transparent. In this vacuum, the subtext of their aggression becomes painfully visible to everyone. They are no longer the one analyzing you. They are the ones being scrutinized by a cold, unblinking lens. You have effectively turned their weapon into a mirror. To master this, you must decouple your internal state from your external optics. You are not suppressing your anger. You are simply choosing not to export the data. Keep your breathing deep and rhythmic. Let your eyes lose their focus slightly, as if you were looking through them, not at them. You are the architect in the glass room. They are the specimen behind the glass, screaming for a reaction that will never come. By the time they realize you aren't playing, you have already won the hierarchy. You have moved from the prey who fears the predator to the scientist who studies the insect. Pay attention. The Obsidian Mirror isn't about being tough, it's about being absent. When they search for you in that moment, make sure they find nothing but their own insecurity reflecting back at them. The void is the ultimate dominance. Every trigger you have is a debt you haven't paid. It's a crack in your armor that the manipulator didn't create. They just found it. Most people treat their triggers as sacred parts of their identity. They say, "I can't help it, that's just how I am." In the architect's world, that is a confession of weakness. To have a trigger is to have a remote control that you've left on the table for any passerby to press. Social cauterization is the act of burning that nerve ending shut. When a manipulator strikes a nerve, your body attempts to initiate a limbic hijack. Your heart rate spikes, your blood moves from your brain to your muscles. You are being prepared to fight or flee. In a high-stakes boardroom or a social power struggle, both are a loss. If you fight, you look unstable. If you flee, you look submissive. To cauterize the response, you must interrupt the signal before it reaches the surface. The technique is simple. Intellectualize the attack. The moment you feel that surge of heat in your chest, do not look at the insult. Look at the mechanics of the insult. Ask yourself, why did they choose this specific word? What is the intended outcome of this provocation? By moving from feeling to analyzing, you shift the blood flow back to your prefrontal cortex. You aren't a victim of an insult anymore. You are a technician inspecting a faulty machine. You are cauterizing the wound with logic. Look at the optics of your internal state. If you are focused on the why of their behavior, your external how becomes naturally cold and detached. You stop seeing them as an equal who can hurt you and start seeing them as a data set to be decoded. This is the ultimate form of dominance. You have taken their leverage and turned it into your research. Most people live in a state of constant emotional leaking. They are open books written in a language everyone can read. You, the architect, must be a redacted document. Cauterize the triggers of your past, your need for validation, your fear of rejection, your desire to be liked. When those nerves are dead, the manipulator's greatest weapons become nothing more than harmless noise. They can't burn you if there's nothing left to catch fire. Silence is not the absence of sound, it's the presence of pressure. Most people treat a conversation like a game of catch. When someone throws a comment at you, you feel a biological urge to catch it and throw it back. You answer their questions. You fill the gaps. You explain your reasoning. In the architect's world, this is called compliance. The moment you feel the need to fill the silence, you have accepted the subtext that you are responsible for the comfort of the interaction. You are serving them. Break that rhythm. Create the vacuum. When a manipulator makes a pointed comment or asks a loaded question, give them nothing. Look them in the eyes, not with anger, but with a detached clinical curiosity. Let the silence stretch past the point of social comfort. 5 seconds of silence is a lifetime in a power struggle. At 10 seconds, the hierarchy begins to shift. At 15, they will begin to panic. Because the human brain cannot tolerate a vacuum, the manipulator will attempt to fill it themselves. They will begin to leak. They will clarify their insult. They will offer a justification you didn't ask for. They will backtrack, hedge, and eventually they will start to over-explain. This is the sound of them dismantling their own leverage. By saying nothing, you have forced them to negotiate against themselves. Silence is the ultimate diagnostic tool. It strips away the subtext and leaves the manipulator's intent naked on the table. When you refuse to fill the gap, you're not just being quiet, you're holding a mirror to their desperation. You are the architect, standing perfectly still while they trip over their own words, trying to find a footing that no longer exists. High-status individuals do not rush to speak. They do not feel the burden of the dead air. They own the space between the words. Learn to love the discomfort of the vacuum. If you can sit in that silence without flinching, you become the most powerful person in the room. Let them drown in the void you've created.
Power has a rhythm. Most people move too fast because they are subconsciously trying to keep up with the world. They nod to show they're listening. They fidget to release nervous energy. They tilt their head to signal submissiveness. In the hierarchy of the room, these are tells. They are the frantic signals of the prey trying to pacify the predator. Every unnecessary movement is a leak of your authority. You are broadcasting your internal state to anyone with the eyes to read it. The architect does not leak. The architect has mastered the economy of movement. Look at the optics of a high-status individual. Their movements are deliberate, slow, and infrequent. They don't react to sudden noises or sharp comments with a startled response. They turn their entire body, not just their head. This is the physical manifestation of emotional alchemy. If you cannot be moved internally, you should not be moved externally. When a manipulator tries to shock you with a revelation or a threat, and your physical form remains as still as the obsidian table in this room, you have effectively neutralized their impact. The prey scans the room for threats. The architect observes the room for opportunities. There is a profound difference in the gaze. The prey's eyes move rapidly, a survival mechanism. Your eyes must be heavy, steady, and focused. Do not blink more than necessary. Do not look away first. Force them to be the one who breaks the visual circuit. The one who looks away first is the one who has acknowledged the other's dominance. Observe your own posture. Are you leaning in, seeking their approval? Are you crossing your arms, signaling that you are on the defensive? Real power is expansive and relaxed. It occupies space without apology. It does not need to guard itself because it does not feel threatened. By adopting the physical stillness of a predator at rest, you create a subtext of absolute confidence. You are signaling to the manipulator that their puny psychological games haven't even registered on your radar. You are the anchor. They are the waves. Let them crash against you until they are exhausted. Your stillness is the proof of your autonomy. When you decide to move, let it be because you have chosen to, not because they have forced you to. Mastery starts with the control of your own shadow.
Most people listen to the words being said. They get lost in the story. They argue about the facts. They defend their character. This is amateur hour. In this room, words are nothing more than smoke. They are the diversion designed to keep you from seeing the machinery behind the curtain. If you want to hold the dice while they try to play you, you must stop hearing what they say and start seeing what they are doing. Every interaction has two layers, the text and the subtext. The text is the noise. The subtext is the power play. When a manipulator says, "I thought you were better than this," the text is a critique of your performance. The subtext is an attempt to install a guilt-based control mechanism. They aren't disappointed in you, they are disappointed that you are becoming harder to manage. Subtextual warfare is the ability to decode these strings in real time without reacting to the bait. While they are speaking, you are performing a cold analysis of their leverage. Why this angle? Why now? What is the hierarchy they are trying to establish? When you see the string, the puppet show is over. You can't be controlled by a trick once you know how it's done. Instead of defending yourself, acknowledge the subtext. If they try to shame you, don't explain why you're right, simply observe the attempt. Say to yourself, not to them, they are using guilt to regain the dominant position. The moment you name the tactic, you cauterize its power. You have successfully moved the battle from the emotional plane to the strategic plane. Look at the optics of the situation. They are sweating, pushing, and manipulating. You are simply watching. You are the architect observing the structural integrity of their lie. They think they are attacking your fortress. They don't realize you've already moved the target. Every word they speak is a confession of their own strategy. Let them talk. The more they speak, the more they reveal their hand. Information is the ultimate leverage, and they are giving it to you for free.
We have reached the end of the board. Most people think winning an interaction means getting the last word or forcing an apology. That is a peasant's victory. It still requires the other person's participation. It still depends on their acknowledgement. True dominance, the ultimate goal of emotional alchemy, is not about winning the game. It is about realizing the game is beneath you. It is about total autonomy. You are no longer a player. You are the environment in which they fail. When you master non-reactivity, you aren't just protecting your ego. You are exiting the hierarchy that the manipulator tried to build. A manipulator's entire world is built on a vertical line. Someone is on top, someone is on the bottom. By refusing to be triggered, by refusing to explain, by refusing to engage in their subtextual warfare, you have removed yourself from that line entirely. You haven't just won the argument. You have rendered their entire existence irrelevant to your internal state. Look at the optics of your life from this height. While others are exhausted by the friction of social opinion and approval, you are moving with the frictionless grace of the architect. You have leverage because you have no needs. You cannot be blackmailed by your emotions. You cannot be steered by your insecurities. You are the master of your moments because you are the master of your stillness. They will call you cold. They will call you hard to read. Let them. These are simply the names the prey gives to a predator they cannot understand. In reality, you have reached a high-status autonomy. You are the one holding the dice, not because you are lucky, but because you are the only one in the room who isn't gambling with their peace of mind. Go back out into the world. Watch the strings. Observe the leaks. Stay in the glass room. Remember, the world only has power over you as long as you have a reaction for it to consume. Starve the parasites. Own the vacuum. Wake up. The board is yours.